Pat Benatar, 98.7 WFGR, 747. Hit me with your best shot. Andy O and Dave Cackley. Today, Dave, is a big day for the Grand Rapids Public Schools.
Yes, it is.
Big day. John Helmholtz is the spokesman for Grand Rapids. GRPS is us in the know, like to call it, John.
That's right. Good morning.
How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Seems like it's been about a year since we talked to you, and I think it was about the same thing.
I think it was, too. You're right.
Don't be such a stranger, man.
I was in Washington, D.C. at the time, too.
That's right. You were one of the very first people we talked to, come to think of it. And, wow, you're back. Huh.
That's right. Well, thanks for having me.
That doesn't happen often.
No. Usually people come on once and say, oh, that's it. That was a waste of time.
I didn't totally wear out my welcome. I had to give it about a year just for you guys to get over and recover from it.
Yeah. No, the schools are important, and we're here to help if we can. Let's talk a little bit about the Grand Rapids Public School of Choice thing that's going on today.
Yeah, we have our We Are GR School Choice Expo. This features all 16 of our theme schools and centers of innovation. These are schools that are essentially citywide schools. They have application process that's required, and these are some of the top performing schools in the region. Like City High Middle School is the single top performing school in the entire region, the second highest performing in all of Michigan.
Wow,
the entire state.
Isn't there like an enormous waiting list to get into City High?
That's absolutely correct. We have waiting lists every single year. A number of these schools, these STEAM schools and centers of innovation, have waiting lists. City High, Zoo in Blandford, Montessori, and C. Frost. Those are the ones that probably have the largest waiting list, and that's why parents need to apply early. This is why we have what we call this Early Bird Expo. Parents can come out tonight from 4 to 7. They can learn about these school choices, and they can apply at this event, or they can go online with a paperless application that's at wearegr.com.
Now, let me ask you about education today. Are we seeing as a national trend that education is kind of, I don't necessarily want to say splintering off, but are educators paying more attention to children's aptitudes as to what their strong suits are, what they, which way they should go in life?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have the public education sector has really diversified. Parents and students have more options than ever before. Certainly some districts like ours, we actually have probably the largest selection of choices to meet the needs of all children, because we got to remember, children have different special needs. They're learning at different levels. They're coming to the starting gate at different points of their aptitude and their proficiency. And so that's why we kind of take pride in making sure, hey, if you want a theme, something like a dual immersion where you're learning English and Spanish, that we have that. But if you want the traditional school where you go to your neighborhood school and you walk down the block and that's what you do, that's what it was when we all grew up, we have that too. But we also have the special ed centers. We do not have an online academy. That's another thing that's emerging right now across the country. And so it's really across the board. It's an exciting time to be in education, but there's also been a lot of reform, a lot of churn, and we're kind of hoping that the dust will settle a little bit.
I don't know what I think so much about the whole online education thing for the high school level. I wonder if they're going to, if you're going to take an online class or two for college, okay. But, I mean, are there any studies out there? Because don't the young people, the high school students, need that social interaction to kind of
absolutely.
To kind of learn?
Our experience has been, we're finding it where families are signing up for these online academies, and then, a month or two later, they come back, and the child's a month behind because it takes a special student. So, I mean, you've got to be really self-motivated to do the online. It works for some kids. Those proficient students, those ones that are really quick learners, it may work well for them.
Yeah.
But we believe there needs to be really that social interaction, some brick and mortar, and actually having a teacher, a real live teacher there to work with those students.
I look back at my days and when I was in school, and I think if they had all that education online and stuff like that, where I would have ended up?
Prison.
Radio job.
Or yeah, which I'm not sure is much better.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got something?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, now with kids today, kids are so immersed in online stuff. I would think that online schooling actually would be beneficial for a good portion of students who maybe I mean, can you differentiate between those who learn better in an online setting or those who learn better in a class in a traditional classroom setting?
Yeah, I think it's kind of all over the board. I mean, you can really see the benefits first that do come along with the online. What we found, what we're kind of seeing more, where I think some of the trend is more what's called blended learning, where you have a combination of traditional style, kind of not lecture style, but the teacher in the class facilitating a classroom exercise, but then also incorporating some online into the activities. So it just makes good sense that blend, that kind of a little bit of both, seems to be the stronger academic impact.
Well, give us the nuts and bolts one more time. If parents are interested in finding out about some of these specialty schools offered by Grand Rapids Public Schools, where do they go tonight and what time?
Absolutely. They go to the new City High Middle School, which is the former Creston High School building, right there on Plainfield on the northeast side of Grand Rapids. It's from 4 to 7 p.m. There's free dinner. There are kids' games, a bounce house, so mom and dad, they can bring the kids. They've got some activities that they can go do while mom and dad can go meet with the teachers and the principals and learn about these different school choices.
I think it's a great program.
Fantastic.
And we wish you the best. John Helmholt from the Grand Rapids Public Schools, thanks so much for your heads up on this, and hopefully the parents will take an active role in their kids' education and get out to this thing tonight at the former Creston High School.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, John, take good care, and appreciate the report there. Grand Rapids Public Schools of choice, probably a new trend in education where you're going to kind of pick your specialty a little younger.
I like the idea of online for some kids just because I think it eliminates distractions that you have in a classroom. And I think I would have probably have been one of those kids that learned better in that setting. You would probably find that funny because, anything online related, I'm not really good at.
Yeah.
But I think you would be probably with some kids a little more focused.
A lot of self-discipline, though.
Yeah, that's the
you got to find a special kid that can do. I mean,
right.
because we think about it, distraction. You got the class clown who's going to get kicked out in the hall, or the entire World Wide Web. The opportunity for distractions there. So a blended thing.
Right.
I think John was right there. All right, news coming up in about 5 minutes. We've got outfield on the way. Nice. Wow. Journey's coming up as well. And at 8 o'clock, we're going to talk about a really, really great thing that we've got going on for the holidays here at 98.7 WFGR. Stand by.